Yo, PC fam, what's going on? Welcome to another episode of Chill with Chill. Um, Last night was an action-packed night of basketball, but we're not going to get there just yet. Not
Mhm,
yet. I want to talk about something else that I think has been overlooked. People haven't really been talking about it as much as I assumed they'll be talking about it, Chill, and
mhm,
that's the fact that James Harden is basically one game away
mhm.
from being number two all time with 3 pointers.
Yep.
So I don't feel like that's been highlighted. I feel like people don't talk about James Harden's 3 point shooting that much. You care to tap into that?
Well, think about if you think about the long ball shooters, right? And this is going back to like when you talk about rebounders, when you talk about bucket getters, when you talk about these dudes, you talk about them specifically for that. Like you're a glass cleaner, right? You talk about a shot block leader. You talk about him as a defender, but you talk about him more as a shot blocker than an overall defender. I think with James Harden, one of the main reasons why people don't talk about him as a long ball shooter as much, because James Harden is a bucket getter. So James Harden isn't a shooter more than he's a bucket getter. So when I think about Ray Allen turned himself into a shooter. Ray Allen was a bucket getter. I won't argue that, but Ray Allen was more of a long ball shooter than he was a bucket getter. He was a shooter who could score. James Harden is a scorer who could shoot the long ball. Steph Curry primarily was a long ball shooter. Like when
Mhm.
Steph Curry, when you talk about his bag, we talk about him getting shots. Yeah, Steph Curry could score, but primarily he was a long ball shooter. When I think about James Harden, I feel like James Harden was more of a scorer than he was a long ball shooter. And we don't talk about him being that elite as a long ball shooter, even though he was fantastic. I mean, he's gonna pass Ray. The next time he plays, he's gonna pass Ray Allen all time at number two all time as a long ball shooter. I know that sounds ridiculous, Ox. That he's number two on the list all time. There's only one dude in NBA history that cracked more threes than him. Just one. And he said he considered himself number one because he said Steph don't count because Steph in a different stratosphere. So he don't even count Steph Curry, which I can get with that. But I think that we discount how good James Harden was as a long ball shooter. There was that stretch between 17 and 19 when he was averaging 36 a game and 34 a game. And the bucket getter that he was, we complained about him getting to the free throw line, even though getting fouled is a skill, and he almost perfected that. That's how he changed the game. And him getting to the rim, he did shoot in the mid range at that point too.
Mhm.
But we completely disregarded what he did at the long ball line. A lot of us forget that James Harden was behind the long ball line a lot during that time, and it was one of his mainstays. And the fact that he is where he is right now, that 100% should be celebrated. I'm not a huge James Harden fan, but as a
Right,
bucket getter and a shooter, I can't
right.
deny it. No, I can't.
Yeah, we
Mm-mm.
can't look past that. Can't look
No.
past that. Um, yeah, well, man, congratulations to James Harden in advance
Hmm.
because as you said and I both said, I'm pretty sure he'll pass Ray the next time he plays basketball. So
That's gonna happen.
uh,
That's gonna happen.
yeah, shout out to him. We got to congratulate another all-time great. Some call him the GOAT. I won't argue with you if you do.
Hmm.
Um, this is the first time LeBron James has had four back-to-back triple doubles.
Never happened in his career, Ox. Never.
Wow. So he went 21, 12, and 13. Um, 19, 10, and 16,
Mhm.
35, 12, and 14, 15, 16, and 12. Those are LeBron James' numbers in the last four
Mhm.
games. What does that say about where LeBron James still is today at almost 40 years old?
Um, it says that he's going to be more missed when he's gone while he's here, because when he's doing what he's doing, despite how incredible it is, it's almost overlooked because he's been so good for such a long time. So the feats that he has, it's almost like ho hum. Like he's had triple doubles before. So what? What's the big deal? When in reality, nobody else is doing that kind of stuff for as long as he's doing it. And I think it's amazing how one thing can change everything. What I mean when I say that, Ox, is okay, take Darvin Ham off that sideline and put JJ Redick on the sideline. The attitude has changed. The offense has changed. James looks a lot different. Anthony Davis looks a lot more aggressive as a scorer. Anthony Davis looks a lot more aggressive as a bucket getter. He looks a lot more aggressive as a defender. He looks a lot more he looks a lot more confident behind the long ball line, and that's largely due to the kind of shots that he's getting. Why? Because the ball is moving. James can process the defense a lot better with the ball moving and people moving. He can see guys getting open. I think he catches guys like Anthony Davis wide open. He catches guys like Rui on the wing. He catches guys like Max wide open. And the reason why is because when me and you have had this conversation countless times, Ox. When the ball moving, people moving. When people moving, the defense is off balance. And a guy like James, who is as smart as he is, he looks more comfortable playing in a more free-flowing offense as opposed to him steady just handling the basketball and pounding the basketball. And in your estimation, at the end of the shot clock, throwing guys grenades. He doesn't have to do that. The ball is moving, right? So he just looks much more confident in this offense. And on top of that, he's able to take a step back and let Anthony Davis, who this is what I envisioned from these guys years ago. This is what I thought that it was going to be. Anthony Davis would be the guy, but I thought it would be years ago. I didn't think that James, I didn't think that James would hand over the reins. I thought he would hand over the reins years ago, but we're in a space now where he's much more comfortable getting off the peel, much more comfortable getting guys like Anthony Davis and these dudes involved. And it just shows up, not just in the stat sheet, but it shows up in his game, and it shows up with the Lakers. He's been fantastic, Ox. And I think that we're going to miss him more. I think we're going to miss him more when he's gone than we do now because he's here.
Oh, for sure. So speaking of LeBron and the Lakers, I have a question. Is this something that we really need to discuss? Is this real, or is this a whole lot of fluff, Chill?
Mm-hmm.
Do we need to discuss this? Is Anthony Davis the best big in the NBA?
Is this a real conversation? I don't think that this is a conversation. I think it's Joker, and I don't think it's a conversation. But I think what people have a tendency to do is they dismiss it. And if I could think somebody is better than you, but also marvel at what you're doing too, right? So I think that Anthony Davis, I think he's fantastic as a player, right? And when you talk about the MVP ladder, I think he's right there. When you talk about being one of the better bigs in the game, I think he's right there. But when I think about how good Joker is and everything that Joker does on the offensive end of the floor, and I don't think he's what Anthony Davis is as a defender. I think Anthony Davis clears him as a defender. But the fact that he would compete, the fact that he's attempting to do something on the defensive end of the floor, unlike somebody else we discussed a couple of days ago.
Oh man,
the fact that he's attempting to do that, I think that puts him in the conversation as one of the best big men in the game. But the best big man in the game is Joker. I don't think that Anthony Davis processes the offense like Joker. I don't think he passes as well as Joker. I think Joker is a better scorer than him. I think Joker has more impact on the offensive end than him. I think he just does more overall as an offensive player. As a glass cleaner, I think that they're both comparable, but I think that I would give the edge to Joker on the offensive glass because I think he affects the offensive glass a little bit more, and I think that affects the game. I do think that Joker is here, and I feel like everybody else, it's Joker, then everybody else. But when you want to talk about Anthony Davis as a big, I do think he's one of the best big men in the game, but I don't think he's as good as Joker. But that's not a slight. That's not a slight at Anthony Davis. A lot of people will think that, you don't think it's close. Well, wait a minute. Okay, it's okay for this dude to be better than that dude, and it's not close. It's all right. I don't understand why it's a big deal when this guy is better than this guy and it's not close. But that doesn't take away from him because Anthony Davis is still awesome. He's still awesome. He just ain't as good as this dude. That's all it is.
Yeah. I hate it when that happens. Like, he's just not as good as him. He's an amazing player. But did you see that eyeball, Chill?
Yeah, he got poked in the eye real good, Joe. Yeah.
He got poked
in the eye real good. I was expecting the goggles to come out. But
right. Shout out to him for playing through that.
Yeah, he's good. Which I told you this before that the soft tag on Anthony Davis, it only got to Anthony Davis when he got to the Lakers. We weren't talking about Anthony Davis being soft when he was with New Orleans. Nobody was.
Right. That's a fact.
Mm-mm.
I mean, it's a different level. It's a different level, different pressure when you play on that team. I mean, and that's something you sign up for. If you can't handle that type of pressure, don't go play for the Lakers.
It really
You
is
know,
that simple. Yeah, it
it's the
is.
best. Hey, that is the best franchise in basketball. You're
Mhm.
expected to do different things there.
Yep.
Chill. And I don't want to get into this too much because we both spoke about how, you know, if you don't got nothing nice to say, don't say nothing at all. But I want to point out that I want to point this out. We aren't Luka haters. Luka hated on himself the other night. All right.
You make
He
it you
forced
make
us.
it less difficult for us. This is what you do. You force in our hand. We ain't
He's
we not
forcing us.
fishing for this. We not. We not.
We didn't ask for this. You know what I'm
We
saying?
did not.
That's the last thing I wanted to see. You know,
Ox,
begging.
I walked
I'm
in.
begging.
That's it right there, Ox. I said when I saw that, I'm like, God, we're gonna have to talk about this. Oh no. Because I know what it's gonna be, Ox. I know what it's gonna be. We're gonna have to talk about this. And then here we go with Chill is a Luka hater. What do you expect when I see stuff like this? What am I supposed to say? I mean, I'm trying to give you the benefit of the doubt here. Because on the one hand, Ox, and I know where you're going with this, but to your point, I'm asking a question. Is it realistic to think that maybe Luka just doesn't know how to play defense? I'm just trying to come up with stuff. I'm trying to make sense of why this is as bad as it is. Is it feasible to think that maybe he just doesn't know how to do it? But no, I can't use that logic because even when I don't know how to do something, at least I'm trying. Right? At least I'm trying to do it. But when I'm not, it's bad enough I don't know how to do it. But I ain't even trying. Give me a break.
Yeah, just a jerk. So we spoke on Anthony Davis, spoke on LeBron.
Yep.
I wanted to know, how do you feel about how do you feel about this new and improved MVP ladder?
Mm-hmm. I said this to you a couple of days ago, Ox. So Joker started the season last season, his first 10 games. He started the season, he was 29, he was almost 30, 14, and 8 assists last season to start. He was shooting, I think he was shooting like 56% from the floor. The long ball wasn't working. He's averaging 4 more assists today, right? He's averaging 4 more assists today. And the best player in the game, is he right now? Yes, I think he's been the best player in the game for me for the last 2 or 3 years. I think he's the best player in the game. With that being said, I think there is something that goes into winning. And there are some people who, whether you guys want to admit it or not, that we have to have a bit of a conversation. Donovan Mitchell may have to enter this conversation a little bit more.
Well, why is Donovan Mitchell 9?
Yeah, Donovan Mitchell. And the reason why he's 9 is because there's been a little bit of inconsistency in his game, right? There's been a little bit of inconsistency in his game and how good they are as a unit. Like he isn't solely responsible for that. But then I could use the same logic with Jason Tatum. As good as that unit is, Tatum isn't solely responsible for what's going on there, but he is the best player on their team. And you know, the second best team in the Eastern Conference, the NBA champion. I think there's a lot of narrative that goes with that because if I'm 30 again. I'm 38 and 6 on the world champs. Sure, he's going to be in the conversation, but I don't think it's a question right now, considering where Denver. I think they're in 3rd or 4th place in the Western Conference. So I do think that they got to get higher in the standings for me to give the MVP to Joker. But I also think that, and we had this conversation yesterday, the fact that Joker has broken his PER record from last year, which was a record, the fact that he broke that again this year, this is what I have to do to stay in the league MVP conversation. Now, I think that at some point, I think he's gonna level off. I don't know if Joker is gonna be 30, 14, and 12 for the season, because if he's that, and the Denver Nuggets are a top 4 seed, it's gonna be hard. It's gonna be difficult to keep it away from him, as opposed to what I think with the Celtics. You know, I think the Celtics are gonna win 65 games, and if they win 65 to 70 games, and Jason Tatum is 38 and 6, I dare you to try to keep it away from him.
Right. I heard you say that yesterday, Chill.
I dare you. I dare you to try to keep the league MVP away from him. I dare you. But
Kevin Durant Kevin Durant holding on to that 3 spot, chill, and he hasn't played in a little
He's
bit.
been out of the lineup.
That's
been interesting, Ox. That has been interesting. I think that's a bit of as good as Kevin Durant's been playing. I think that's a bit of not nostalgia, but I think that's a bit of a narrative because it's Kevin Durant, and you used to talking about him. But he's been out of the lineup for over a week now. I mean, the same logic with Steph Curry. I mean, he missed 4 games. I think he missed 4 games, and he won all 4 of those games. And you can make the argument, well, he wasn't playing against good teams. Well, Houston's a damn good team, and they beat them without Curry. When they beat New Orleans twice, and with them beating New Orleans twice, they beat New Orleans twice with both Brandon Ingram and Zion Williamson in the lineup with CJ McCollum. They beat them twice. So without Steph Curry, that's a large part of it. As good as you are as a player, I mean, if your team is rolling without you, I mean, what does that say about you as the league MVP?
Right.
That's always been my issue. And you know, I've had conversations about what the league MVP entails, but in the end, the most valuable player to your team's success. I think I've always thought that that's what the league MVP is.
Mm-hmm. Let's knock out these super chats real quick, and then we're gonna get into the meat and potatoes of things, chill.
Yep.
We'll just start from the top. We'll start from the top. First come, first serve. Let's get with it. From One Unemployment, he says, W chill, W ox, WLDBC, even though Ticket verbally abuses me. One Stockholm syndrome in the building, yo. Man. From my main man, Alan R. Soon as I join, I hear a Luka stray. This is crazy.
Alan, I promise you, yo, we are not doing this on purpose. We are going off what we see. Ox isn't being malicious at Luka because Luka owe him money or Luka says something foul about him. Ox is looking at Luka as the defender that he is and the effort that he portrays. And that's what Ox is going off of. That's what I'm going off of. When I watch Luka and I'm watching how he plays defense and I'm watching what he does on the defensive side of the floor, that's what I'm going off of. I'm not going off, you know what, I just don't like him because he's fat. No, that's not it. That's not what's going on, brother. I promise you that.
Man, and for the record, chill, I wish Luka did owe me some money. Hey.
Why you 10,000?
Man, for real. From Void Century said, Bam Fan Club, we back in the building, and it's hero season.
Yeah, it is, yo.
Yes, sir. Yes, it is.
Bam looked good last night.
I love when Tyler Hero plays basketball like this, man.
You just a fan of ballers, Ox. Every time I listen to you talk, you just a fan of dudes who can rock.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. But Tyler Hero is because you remember I had that take a couple seasons ago that if Tyler Hero wouldn't have hurt his wrist in the playoffs, I think they could have got with Denver. I honestly do. I think Denver would have had some trouble on their hands in that finals.
If you could have got a healthy Tyler Hero.
Yeah, I think so. I just think that pick and roll from him up top, I think it just changes a lot of aspects of the game. From One Unemployment, again, he said, if there was a Hall of Fame of NBA games, what games would you want to see on there?
Hall of Fame NBA games? Oh, man, how many? So, Game 7, 2016 NBA Finals.
Chill, real quick.
Yes, sir.
I saw, and this was a couple months ago.
Mm-hmm.
I saw that it was like maybe a 5 to 6 minute video, and it was just a clip of that series, right? Mm-hmm. 2016, and it went from when I guess like Clay had said something after Game 4, I think it was, and they were kind of laughing like, "Oh yeah, it's pretty much over." And Bron just got that look in his eye, and I was like.
So? All right.
And I know already because it already happened. I know they came back, right?
Uh-huh.
But when he's doing it, and then Kyrie's giving big numbers, and Bron's coming 46 and 16, 40 this, and I was like, in my mind, I'm like, there's no way he's about to do this. There's no way he's about to do this. And I'm just like, this man is really
just going on.
He's the GOAT. Chill, like that was some of the most goldest. That was like the most goldest video I ever seen in my life. I just want to say that I knew what happened because I was there. I lived through it, but I just kind of was like, you can't do that. You know, Oh my God.
So it happened, to your point, you talking about Klay Thompson. Klay Thompson had said, quote, some people had gotten their feelings hurt. That's what he said, right? So with him saying that some people had gotten their feelings hurt, he was talking about James, right? And James heard it and laughed it off. There was a feeling in me when they won game 5. When they won game 5, I'm thinking they're coming back here for game 7. I don't think they losing at home in game 6. There was a part of me that was thinking, here they come. Here they come. And sure enough, they got back to that. That was when you're talking about Hall of Fame NBA games, game 7, the 2016 NBA Finals, game 7, the 2013 NBA Finals, 1992 East Finals, game 5, Knicks Bulls, one of the best games I've ever seen. 1992 East semifinals, game 7. Oh, that was a fantastic series. One of the best series that I've ever seen. Of course, the 98 finals, game 6. Tracy McGrady coming back and winning the game in regulation, by the way. They down 10 with like a minute and a half, and they came back and won. So those are just some games that I'm thinking about off the top of my head.
Yep. Okay. Those are some great games. If you haven't seen those, man, y'all go check them out.
Yep.
From King Rail, he says, and out there getting to it. How y'all feeling? Because we're gonna talk about this in a moment.
We all King, you hold the phone on that, King, because we all gonna talk about it. We're feeling good though. Yeah, feeling good.
Yo, Rail, don't
breathe, Ox. Breathe, big fella. Breathe, big fella.
Man. Adrian Mask says, Bulls causing me so much pain right now. Get rid of Acme. I don't know.
Adrian, I think the problem that we're having, brother, is your expectation of this Bulls team. I mean, Baselis has gone down to the G League to get some reps because he's clearly not ready, and that's fine that he's not ready. You are under this impression that this Bulls team should be something else. That's because Zach LaVine's still on the crew. That's because Vooch is still on the crew. That experiment is over. And that experiment, and by the way, Lonzo Ball, it's got extended, by the way, 6 more weeks with that.
Right. Yeah. You know what? L host on my, because I meant to bring that up a little ago earlier before we got into this.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, man. I hope that wrist is okay. Well,
the
problem, okay, but you know.
Right. That'll get better. The problem that we having with Adrian, with this Bulls team is, I think your expectation, instead of you recognizing that you're trying to build something. Well, the only way you could do that, right? The only way you could do that is get a foundation. Josh Giddey has not been good. Josh Giddey, in fact, said, because it sounds like his confidence, right? Sounds like his confidence has been waned. He said that if he was Billy Donovan, he wouldn't play him. Now, I never heard that before. I never heard a player say, yo, if I was the coach, I wouldn't play me. I suck, right? That's essentially what you're telling us, is that you suck. Now, we got to find some confidence in that aspect because, again, this is our franchise point guard. Kobe White is one of our franchise backcourt players. Baselis is a guy that's in the G League because he needs reps. He's not ready yet. Okay. Now, with that being said, this is our foundation. So you have to accept the fact that we're going to be bad. We got to get a franchise player. We got to build around this, which is what I think the Bulls are doing. We live in such a right now society instead of accepting this is what we're building. This is what we're building on. And as long as we're building on this, all right, let's get behind this crew. That's who the Bulls are right now. They're a bad team, and they're building something. That's it. They're just a bad team right now, and I think that they're building on something. You just got to be patient with them.
Yeah, it's going to take a lot of patience with them.
It is.
Can you hear me okay?
You hot? Yep, you hot.
All right, cool. Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's going to take a little time, but they'll get there. Well, I want to talk about let's just kick it off with 2 games in particular, and we can run them down after. But there was 2 games last night that I consider to be great games. And you know, I figure I'll just tear the Band-Aid off and just start where it hurts first. The Kings and Timberwolves last night had a great game, went to overtime. As we all know, De'Aaron Fox dropped a new career high, 60 points in a losing effort. Chill, how do you lose after scoring 60 points, and what do you take from that game? In this in-season tournament, Chill, and this whole in-season tournament. First of all, how are you feeling about that this year and the intensity so far?
I'm definitely more on board with the in-season tournament than I was last year. I thought it was a money grab. I wasn't really interested in it at all, to be honest with you. I thought it was dumb, but watching it now, I think it brings a new excitement to the game, to the regular season. And I think it heightens anticipation for the playoffs. Like, this may be a playoff matchup come playoff time with Minnesota and Sacramento. This could very well be, because I don't think these two teams are going to be. I mean, I think Sacramento. What do you guys? And I think, what do you got, 7th or 8th? I think that those guys are going to move up the ladder. I think that this heightens the anticipation for the playoffs, because this could be a potential playoff matchup. And if what we saw last night is a prelude to what it could be in the playoffs, that makes it even better. So I love the in-season tournament. I'm 100% on board, Ox. I think this is great. I think this is great for the game. And it's just going to get better. I do. I think it's going to get better. And I dig it. With that being said, when you got a guy, it's the gift and the curse. What I mean when I say it's the gift and the curse, Ox, is when you got a guy who got it going like Foxy did last night, it's the gift because, you know, we're starstruck by it. We're amazed by it. Like, keep going. But on the flip side to that, it kind of takes everybody else out of their rhythm. It takes everybody else away from their game. So I'm watching Fox get downhill, and he's got Trey Lyles in the corner. It was either Trey Lyles or Keegan Murray in the corner, wide open. Keegan Murray hadn't had a shot in like 3 or 4 trips. That's because Fox got it going, and he ended up shooting an air ball. And it was the go-ahead shot. This was in regulation. This wasn't in the overtime. This was in regulation. That's because Fox had it going. And when you get a guy like Fox to get it going like that, you find yourself standing around watching. We could still run our offense. We could still get good looks. But when you got a guy like Fox who had it going like that, nothing was slowing him down. Right. But it was slowing down the rest of the crew. That's what the difference was. Because now it made it look like, yo, he had to carry this. It wasn't that he had to carry it, because Murray was going early on. Early on, Murray was going. I mean, I thought you were getting good looks from Ellis. I thought that was working. I just thought that once Foxy got going, it was a wrap for the rest of those guys. And I think he was around 43. Maybe I think he was around 43. I was thinking to myself, he's going to have to get 55. It's going to take 50 plus in order to beat these dudes. Yeah. I didn't think he'd get to 60. I'd be lying if I said I thought that.
I mean, I see in the chat, to Mos Neff, to his point, we were down big. We were down 20 at one point.
Down 18 in the second half.
I think De'Aaron felt like he had to put the whole team on his back in order for us to come back. I mean, we were down 18 in the fourth, 16 in the fourth, and he put the team on his back. So, I mean, shout out to them. And I mean, I knew DeMar wasn't playing. I just keep forgetting that Malik is out. And I feel like if Malik could have just gave us 20 minutes last night, could have pulled that one off. But that's just not how basketball works. You play who you got, you play who's healthy, you get it done or you don't. Just to read off some of the stats from last night from on the Kings side of things, we had only 3 guys in double digits. DeMontis, he put in his obvious 12 rebounds. You know we're getting that from him. 12 rebounds, 4 assists, 23 points. Keegan Murray also added another 10 rebounds with his 14 points. On the flip side of things, who we didn't touch much on these guys yet. I'm sure we will now. We had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 guys in double digits on the Timberwolves. Julius Randle, 26 points. Anthony Edwards had 36 and 5. Rudy Gobert had a double-double with 11 and 11. McDaniels, 14 points. Naz Reid, 16. Mike Conley, 14. And Nickeil Alexander-Walker added 10 points as well. How did we feel about a pretty balanced attack from the Timberwolves?
Now, if you let them tell it, Ox, the addition of Julius Randle has been, lukewarm, when in reality, one of the main reasons why a lot of those guys are able to do what they're doing is because of what I talked about with you before the season started. I thought that Julius Randle one of the better downhill guys, one of the better draw and kick guys in the game. He was doing that last night. One of the guys that we haven't spoken about who I thought would be better is, where's DiVincenzo been? Ox, I think he's shooting like 25% on the long ball over the last 4 or 5 games. He didn't do much last night. In fact, not only has he not done much last night, he hasn't done much over the course of the last 2 or 3 or 4 games. He hasn't done much. Meanwhile, guys like Jaden McDaniels, who I didn't think could be a shooter like he was, but he's actually expanding his game. And he looked good last night, especially with playing off of Julius Randle. And living behind the long ball line, I thought that he did a better job at getting to the rim and playing in between. That there was a stretch where Ant couldn't get anything going, and that's just part of the game. When you shoot at that volume at the long ball line, there's going to come a stretch where you don't have it going. That's why the other things matter. When I saw Ant, I think it was in the middle of the third, it was in the middle of the fourth, where he got downhill, got right to the elbow, and pulled up. And I'm thinking to myself, that's the kind of shot. And pulled up and made it. You guys were going back and forth at that point. And not actually, you weren't going back and forth. I take that back, Ox. You guys were getting back in the game. You guys were cutting into the lead. And I'm thinking to myself, that's the kind of shot from Anthony Edwards that's going to keep him viable. Because if I'm just going to stand at the long ball line, then I'm not going to be that good. If I think I'm just going to get to the rim, even though he did punch one last night, that was impressive. If I think I'm just going to keep getting to the rim, that's not going to happen. I got to play that in-between game. I have to do that. And the fact that he did that last night, I thought he was great doing that last night. I still think that he's missing reads. I saw Rudy dive into the basket 3-4 times where he was wide open at the rim. Well, Rudy can't catch. Rudy can catch. Absolutely. He can catch at the rim. Because he might fumble a pass or two, that doesn't mean that you stop going to him. That's how you keep your big man involved in the game. And I felt like they didn't. I felt like Anthony Edwards still can't make that read yet. And I don't think it's because he just doesn't want to pass it to him. No, I don't think that's it. I think that when you keep your guy, a big guy, if you keep him engaged, he'll be engaged in the other stuff, and he'll rim protect more, he'll rebound more. And I still think that that's a part of Anthony Edwards' game that I still think needs to improve. But I tell you what, man, Julius Randle getting downhill, firing that thing out to Mike Conley, firing that thing out to guys like Alexander Walker, they were really productive at the long ball line and on the perimeter. Because Julius Randle is so good at getting to the rim and collapsing the defense that he draws so much attention. That makes it so much easier. That makes it much less difficult for the rest of those guys to get open shot. Much less difficult for those guys to get open shots. It's just a matter of them converting them, and they did that last night.
Right. Well, yeah, I mean, that was an exciting game. Very exciting. I know some people were tuned in to watching Jake Paul fight a 60-year-old guy, but hey, we had some really good basketball going on last night. Speaking of really good basketball, the other really, really good game was a game I actually did on playback, and that was the Nets versus the Knicks. It looked like Dennis Schroeder got the game for him, and then Jalen Brunson did Jalen Brunson things.
Yep.
Came down, walked down, and put one right back on him. Did you check out that game too?
I saw a little bit of it. I didn't see much of it, but I did see a little bit of it. It looks like OG is getting a little bit more comfortable in that offense. It looks like he's getting a little bit more comfortable in that offense, Ox, and I like it. I like the fact that he's getting a little bit more comfortable in that offense. No cat last night, so Jalen Brunson, he had to take that couch bed and throw it on his back and carry it up the stairs. But I like what I saw from Mikal Bridges. I'm still waiting for him, and I know that the Iron Man he is and how healthy he stays. I know that goes without saying, but I'm still waiting for that defender to come back. I'm trying to figure out where he is. What happened to that on-ball defender that was in Phoenix? What happened to him? Is he not committed on the defensive end? Because the schemes that Tibbs runs, the schemes that he runs are conducive to Mikal Bridges as a defender. A lot of open screens, a lot of guys getting, a lot of guys opening up so you can get around screens. In terms of drops, a lot of being able to get back to your man because the guy's playing drop. You can get back to him. I'm still waiting for Mikal Bridges to be that defender that I know he can be. Ox, we gotta start talking about Dennis Schroeder, yo. We do. We gotta start talking about Dennis Schroeder.
It took him a minute to wake up, don't you?
Yeah, yo, we gotta start talking about Dennis Schroeder. Off the strength that Dennis Schroeder was more of a rotation guy and more of a plug-in guy he just looks so much more comfortable in that offense. Man, Cam Thomas, I don't care who's standing in front of Cam Thomas, Ox. Whoever's standing in front of him, he like, you lunch. You are lunch. I don't care who it is. I'll bust your ass. I don't care if it's Mikal Bridges or whoever it is. I'll bust your ass. You can't cover me.
He hit something last night. That just had me just shocked, shook, and awestruck. I didn't know what to say because it was one of them times, where it's like you're about to say like, yo, what are you? And then you like, oh God.
Okay, all right. That's a terrible. Oh no, that's dope and a good shot. Wait a minute, don't do. Yes, absolutely, do that. That's Cam Thomas, man. He is a bucket getter. If you want to talk about, there are a lot of bucket getters in the game. Cam Thomas is a bucket getter. I love that about him. I did. I didn't watch much of that Knicks game last night. I didn't.
Right. Okay.
I saw a little bit of it, and I saw Cam Thomas getting downhill. I saw what I saw from Mikal Bridges, and I'm still waiting on that defender to come back. I don't think he's going, Ox. I don't.
Right. I don't think so either. I do want to speak a little bit more about that in Cam Thomas and his ability to be such a tough shot maker.
Sure.
I just wish Cam Thomas could get some easier looks. I think if Cam Thomas could just get some easier looks, I think it would be a lot better for him and his team. I mean, he makes the tough ones, but with the easier shots, I think it's obviously makes for easier basketball. Yeah. And I don't know exactly what he needs over there, whether it's a roster thing or whether it's just a him thing. I don't know, offense plays, design sets, whatever. Yeah. I would like to see him get some easier looks. But with that being said, he's making the tough ones at a high level. I'm really impressed with his ability to put that ball in the basket.
Ox, I heard Keith Murray, the great Keith Murray, said, I need beer and a lot of noise in my ear and a rowdy atmosphere just to think clear. That may be who Cam Thomas is. He might be that type of bucket getter. He might not be the bucket getter. That might screw him up when he's wide open. Now, that's not I don't think that's a recipe for success when you're consistently taking tough shots, right? When you're consistently taking tough shots, we need you to get something easy, right? But he seems like he thrives on tough shots. He seems like that's what he's looking for. He needs a guy to be in his face in order for him to get busy. I mean, some scorers are like that. Some scorers are like that where they can't score consistently unless somebody's draped all over them. They need that. And that may be who Cam Thomas is. I don't know if that's a recipe for success moving forward, but maybe that's who he is.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I did like what I saw from OG. You brought up OG. I always like what I see from OG. He started taking advantage of mismatches on the offensive end. Jalen Brunson, the big shot maker he is as well. It was a good game last night, and it really showed the Nets how they are going to fight to the end. The Nets, and I mentioned this a little bit ago. I don't think they're a team that's gonna tank. If they tank, it's gonna be something from upper management or the ownership. I think they got the wrong coach to tank with. Jordi Fernandez is not the tank type. He's not the tanking type. So we'll see what happens. Maybe like you said before previously, it's gonna have to be some trades that happen. I don't see Jordi Fernandez not fighting. That team was down big, and they refused to give up, and that was a hell of a game. I was glad. It
was also against the Knicks, the crosstown rival. So of course we don't want to get our ass kicked by them. I mean, that's not what we're trying to hear. No. So
right. So we did talk about those two games. We are going to talk about some more games. Obviously, it was an action-packed game. Let's get to some of these super chats real quick. A pimp named Slickback said Cam Thomas averaging 25, 4, and 3 on 47, 38, and 85. 89. Is it crazy to say he could be a Bradley Beal career arc? Still only 23. Also, there aren't 50 scores better.
Well, I don't think there's 50 scores definitively better than Cam Thomas. I'll start there. Number two, I think that Bradley Beal was a better athlete. I think that Cam Thomas can develop I think he's a better, at this point, I definitely think he's a better tough shot maker than Bradley Beal was at that point in his career. I think they're both, especially when you got bucket getters, I think they're both streaky shooters. Him, on the other hand, I may give him the edge as a one-on-one player. And he's always been a bucket getter, though. Like, this isn't something like Bradley Beal came out of college and he had to develop into that. I don't know if you noticed, but, Cam Thomas I think he led the SEC in scoring as a freshman. He was a bucket getter in college. So this isn't news of who he is. This isn't a guy who just came out of nowhere. I think he's the last guy, and I think he was the first guy since Mahmoud Abdul-Rauf to lead the SEC in scoring as a freshman. And I think he was in the top 5 in the country in scoring that year. So, I mean, he's always been a bucket getter. So this isn't something that when I watch Cam Thomas, I'm like, yo, where does this dude come from? No, he was that when he was at LSU. He was a bucket getter. So it's not surprising.
And shout out to Cam Thomas, but yo, Pimp, like, come on, bro. he's not Bradley Beal.
Let's chill out right now.
Marcel Santalone says Randall is a regular season player and a playoff bum. Wolves will get bounced in round 1 if he is on their team come playoff time.
I bet you Marcel is a Knicks fan. I bet you he is. I'm not on the fence about that. I bet you he is. And just for the record, Julius Randle, I think the year that y'all lost to Miami, he was good in that series against Cleveland with a bum ankle, by the way. He was good in that series. As much as he was injured, he was good in that series. He wasn't great against the Knicks. I mean, he wasn't great against Miami, but he was solid in that series. To say he was a bum, he was awful against Atlanta that first year that y'all went to the playoffs. But with that being said, he was also the savior of what was going on with the Knicks. Like, it's interesting that you talk about Julius Randle like you talk about him, not forgetting the fact that Julius Randle, when he got on the crew, the year before he got on the crew, it was the 5th straight 50-loss season from this team. But now you want to talk about him like he can't do anything except they got him for a bucket of extra crispy and a 6-pack, and he became an all-pro. Not just an all-pro, helped get this team to the playoffs. When they played Atlanta, he wasn't good. But the next year, he was better. So the fact that you talk about him as a playoff bum, what exactly is it that you're looking for when you're talking about Julius Randle? Are you expecting him to be, I don't know, Karl Malone in the playoffs? Are you expecting him to be, I don't know, Anthony Davis in the playoffs? He's not that good, but he ain't a bum neither. That's so disingenuous to say that. So disingenuous.
Right. Before we keep going to some of these games, let's knock out some of the conversations we got in the lobby. We got a full lobby. We got some guys itching to give their takes. Adrian is here. He's been waiting since the beginning of the show, and I know he has so much to say. Guys, once again, we have a full lobby, so we're gonna kind of move it a little quick today. Let's get these takes off quick. Adrian, what's going on, fam?
What up, guys? What else? Listen. I don't want to take too much of you guys' time, right? Listen, when I made that super chat, I wanted you guys to focus on the last part very specifically. The ACME is basically the front office of the Chicago Bulls. Arturas Karnisovas and Mark Eversley are the 2 people who run the team, right? I came into this season having very low expectations because that's exactly what we need. I want to make this very clear. I don't have high expectations for this team. My hopes for this team is we keep our pick. For anyone who doesn't know, the Chicago Bulls have a top 10 protected pick for the 2025 NBA draft. Our goal and objective for this year has to be to keep that pick. Statistically,
how do you lose
mathematically,
wait. How did you lose it?
My worry is that we're going to lose it for this specific reason. What is our record right now, Chill? We are 5-8. We're at the 10th seed in the Eastern Conference.
Sure.
If we stay the 10th seed, we're not going to keep that pick because there's a very good chance someone jumps on top of us or we get like the 11th pick in the draft. It's a very tough situation to be in. We're not so bad. We're in the Wizards, the Nets, that kind of – well, the Nets are doing quite well right now, but like that territory. And we're not good enough to be a playoff team. We're in NBA purgatory, right? The reason why I'm angry is this front office built this team and did not have the foresight to pick a direction. And they still have not picked a direction. And why it's getting even worse is their individual trade decisions have been horrible, okay? The fact that you could not get a pick from the Oklahoma City Thunder for Alex Caruso is one of the wildest things I've ever seen in my life. Chill, they got 40 picks. They have 40 first-round picks. And you could not get one? You couldn't get one first-round pick?
You did. You got Josh. You got Josh Giddey. That's your first round pick.
His deal is ending this year, right?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
My problem and my worry from the start of the year, because when we had this conversation, I said I'm going to wait till the end of the year before I have any, conclusions on Josh Giddey.
Sure.
Right? Because I believe we were watching the USA Australia game, right? I came on to your channel, and Josh Giddey played very well. When I came on and I said, listen, there are things I'm worried about Giddey, and that there's a concern I have. My concern is he might be the third best point guard on our team. He is now not closing lineups for us. He is now being substituted second halves for us because the two players behind him, who were meant to be behind him, are in fact better than him. And when you consider you gave away your most valuable player in terms of how easy they were to trade for a guy who cannot finish games for you, a guy who doesn't even start the second halves for you, and is making your team actively worse, is a big concern when he wants $30 million a year. That comes to the front office. And my worry is when we had a conversation about what makes the viewership so bad in the NBA, I brought up ownership for this very reason, because those guys aren't getting fired. We need a new vision. We need someone who's committed to an idea and a direction. The current guys, in my opinion, look at the play-in game like a lot of owners and front offices as a way to make money, as a way to just stay competitive and sell a product to the fans. And I think fans started to catch on to that, right? Which is why attendance and viewership has started to go down. And it just puts for a bad product and bad decision-making. It's also why I think the Eastern Conference is so bad, because you don't have to be good in the Eastern Conference to make money. In the Western Conference, the level of GMs, look at Sam Presti. What's the name of? I'm trying to remember. Timberwolves. It Tim Conley? No, it's not Tim Conley. Is it? I can't remember his name now.
The GMing in the Western Conference is a lot better than it is.
The
in the
GMing and the decision making in the Western Conference is really good, right?
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
And so you have to the standard and margin of error in the Western Conference is much higher than the Eastern Conference.
Mm-hmm.
So you don't have to, sell the best product in the East to make a plan, sell TV tickets and everything, right? And it puts us in a very tough situation because the fans want a new front office, but they're not going to get it because the owner does not care about the team because he has no reason to.
Didn't you just hire these new guys that you got?
They were hired in 2020.
Right. So you just got them 5 years ago.
Right.
So you want to flip it again?
Because they're incompetent, Chill. They are the definition of incompetence, Chill.
So you had John Paxson.
right.
And let's see, I forgot who else was in there with John Paxson. But
Gar.
so now you want to and Gar. So they were incompetent, and then now you want to move, and then you hire these new guys with Toris Karnisovas. I remember him. He went to Seton Hall, and so now you have those guys, and now you want to move off those guys and get somebody new,
right?
Even though you guys were just, I think, let's see, we're in 2024. I think just 2 years ago, you were a top 5 seed in the East. And the reason why you were a top 5 seed in the East, it was working, by the way, with Lonzo Ball until he went the other way. And when he went the other way, this whole thing went to pieces. So now, which the plan was to build this around Lonzo. You got 2 wings in both Zach LaVine and DeMar DeRozan. You had your big. I think you whiffed on Pat Williams, but you had your big and Vooch. This thing was working, but then Lonzo Ball got hurt. That's nothing to do with the front office. We didn't know he was made of glass. We did not know that. We did not know that. So now the idea is we have to start over. You guys are still holding on to what was. You do have to start over. I do think that now you demand that these guys start over instead of completely cleaning house again. Because what happens when you clean house again and then now these guys aren't competent because you're not going to give it enough time. I already listen to you all the time, Adrian. You want right now. You don't want in 5 years. You don't want in 6, 7 years.
I never said I want right now. I just want good decision making, and these guys aren't making good decision making. Chill. It's been 3 years since we were top of the Eastern Conference. Okay, right. And I agree with you on the Lonzo situation. My issue is you have to adapt. You have to be. The NBA changes so quickly. You have to be willing to make decisions quickly. You let DeMar DeRozan walk out for nothing, right? You let Andre Drummond, the Philadelphia 76ers, gave you 4 second-round picks at the trade deadline, and you said no. That is generational incompetence. Why are you keeping Drummond for a season last deadline? You had 3 first-round picks on the table from the Knicks, right? This has all been confirmed by Chicago Bulls reporters, right? You had 3 first-round from the picks. 3 first-round picks from the Knicks,
Sure.
right? And you said no. Okay, we're going to keep this team together, even though DeMar DeRozan's contract is going.
Right.
Even though Drummond's contract is going, even though Alex Caruso is on his last year, we don't know what's going on with Levine, right? They chose to stick with this team and be stubborn. That's why I need a change, because I'm okay with us taking a step back and building a new team, but the decision-making, the lack of value of picks and draft capital to get players, draft players, and also who drafted Patrick Williams? This front office. Who drafted Jalen Terry? This front office. They have not had a hit on a draft pick in this tenure. Every single successful young player on the Bulls was drafted in the previous.
Well, we don't know. We don't know what Buzelis is. We don't know what he is yet. So
I like Buzelis,
right.
and
I don't know what he is yet.
I actually think I don't know how much you're going to cover the Bulls Cavs game. When he came on, Donovan Mitchell did not score for 8 consecutive minutes. He had the highest plus minus on the team. He was playing well. I don't know why we decided to move on, because he looks ready. I know some people don't think he's ready. I've seen him play.
Maybe that's coaching. That has nothing to do with the front office. Maybe that's coaching. Maybe you got the wrong guy at the helm. That might be. How about that?
But
maybe
the problem is,
wrong guy at the helm.
Here's another problem. So Billy Donovan was asked the question last year, right? And he was asked, so do you have any conversations with ownership and the front office? I speak to Jerry Reinsdorf every day. When I heard that comment, I knew this guy was not going anywhere. A guy who speaks to the owner of the team every day, an owner who doesn't like changing people around, yeah, he's staying here for a while.
Yep.
Yeah.
Right,
those are some points, Adrian, and I wouldn't be too worried, Adrian. Don't be too worried. I think you guys hit this year on the draft. Just be patient, fam. Just be patient. Look, I know a lot about being patient from my franchise, man. I know a lot about being patient, Adrian.
It's all about keeping that pick, right? It's all about keeping that pick, and I'm just worried that we don't do that.
I think y'all will, man. Don't worry too much, bro. We'll be here for you every Saturday. So you got us. All right. You got us. All right, Adrian. Appreciate you for stopping by.
We got you, brother. No doubt.
Let's get a couple more guys up here before we get back to all these other games. I know we got some fans that watched some great basketball last night. Ola Davies. I'm not gonna say what's up, bro?
Yo, what's good? How y'all doing?
What up?
All right, so I was gonna say I'll try to make this as quick as possible because I know y'all probably got a lot of people. But chill, we talked about this like before the NBA season started with the Cleveland Cavaliers. And you remember that I brought up Isaac Okoro, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So I'm gonna be honest, chill. I wasn't expecting this. I wasn't expecting Cleveland to be undefeated. Like this.
Nobody was.
I'm going. Yeah, like let's
Nobody
all
was.
keep it a stack. Anybody that said they expected this,
You're lying. You're lying. No, you did. And since I'm sure you watched the panel. I'm sure you watch us. Yep. Who's been the biggest Cleveland advocate?
You. It's definitely been you.
I have not. If I sit here and look at this camera and go, "Yo, this is exactly what I expected," I'm gonna get struck by lightning right now because I did not expect these dudes to be this good. No, I did not. I had them as a top 3 seed, and I said before the season started, I wouldn't be surprised if I saw these guys in the East Finals. I think that's where the ceiling is. Now, we're talking about a crew who Tuesday they got the Celtics. If they get past the Celtics, we might be looking at a 20-0 start, 22-0 start. I'm like, wait a minute. It reminds me of my Mets in 2015. When the Mets was in the World Series in 2015, I got blown over because I'm thinking to myself, okay, first of all, we were supposed to be challenging for a wild card spot. Yeah. Next year, we're going to challenge for the division. The year after that, we're going to challenge for the pennant. We in the World Series? What the hell we doing here? Oh, wait a minute. I ain't expecting this. So now you're trying to tell me from what I'm looking at with the Cavs right now, because this is a damn good team, yo. This is a damn good team. And I know it's early, but they jumped out the box and they started fast. Can they? I don't think they're going 82-0. No, let's chill out on that. But I'm already on record saying I think that we're going to have 2 teams in the Eastern Conference win 60-plus games. I think both Cleveland and Boston could win 60-plus games this year. I don't think that's ridiculous for me to think that. From the way that they're playing,
that's
I don't
not
think
ridiculous.
So. I don't. I don't.
But yeah, like the other thing I want to talk about real quick, man, I'm a John Morant fan. Okay, I'm finna be out on him, Jim. I'm finna be out.
What's the problem?
Because it's injury?
Yes, injuries. Like now I understand injuries happen and it's part of the game, but it's when like it continues to happen throughout years and years that like, bro, I want to be in on you, but if you're not playing, what's the point?
This was going on when he first. I mean, like 2 years ago when they was at the top of the West.
Yep.
I mean, he rolled his ankle. He was out for a month. So this ain't like this is something that just started. Like this been going on.
Yeah,
right?
and I was watching. Yeah, because I'm a football guy, but I'll watch basketball whenever I get the chance.
Yep.
And I was watching the Warriors and Memphis game, and I'm just like, because I'm pretty sure we all know the Memphis Grizzlies and Warriors, they have a quote unquote rivalry when John Morant's on the floor and stuff like that. And every time,
Even with no more Dylan Brooks, y'all still think that rivalry still exists? No Dylan Brooks. Yeah.
Give or take. It depends on who
I'm
you
gonna say
ask.
no. I'm gonna say no. I don't think it's there no more.
Yeah, that's fair. So it's just Dylan Brooks versus the Warriors, no matter what team he on. Yeah, all right, yeah, it'd be like that. But yeah, like I want, because I think when I made at least my personal standings, I think I had the Grizzlies as like a top 5 seed. Like I had them fifth or sixth.
I had them third.
Third is crazy.
I had them third.
My three.
Y'all lost me with this Memphis love this year.
Yeah.
What you mean?
I'm not high on Memphis at all. I'm high on what Zach Edey's gonna be. I'm high on them maybe next season, the season after that. I'm not high on them this year.
Yep.
But go ahead,
Yeah.
brother.
Fair enough.
And,
all right, brother.
Yep. Appreciate y'all boys.
Good to talk to you, my man. Good
Yes,
to talk to you. Absolutely. I just looked at the crew and I thought what they was bringing back. I was like, this team could be right back at the top of the West again, right back there.
Chill. Is it? I think I was listening last night. I had a shift, a late shift last night, so I didn't get to watch all of that game or all of the Kings game for that matter. Right. I was just in and out on it, but I think I heard an announcer say that Zach Edey has made more threes already in the NBA than he did his whole college career. Did you hear that? Okay, so I wasn't hearing.
No, you wasn't hearing stuff.
That's hilarious.
That's really going on. Yep. Then his whole career at Purdue, not like his senior years, the whole entire time he played at Purdue. He's made more threes in this limited time that he played at Memphis than his whole career. Yeah,
that's hilarious. Chill. My man Pirate has a question because he forgot. Where did you have the Warriors?
I had the Warriors missing the playoffs before the season started.
Do you still have them missing the playoffs?
Yep. I still got them missing the playoffs. Yes, I do.
I'm still not high on those guys. I'm still not. Nope. I don't know if I got them missing the playoffs though.
We'll see.
Yeah.
If I said if we just started, like I said, school just started. Wait, let's see where we are in a couple of months.
Right.
Let's see exactly where we are in a couple of months.
We still got a pretty full lobby, but chill. Before we get back to that, what other games from last night did you personally want to touch on?
Which games with that? I thought that Lakers Spurs game was fantastic. I see Wemby diving to the rim a little bit yesterday, and I like what I saw from Wemby dive. See Ox face. I see Wemby diving to the rim a little bit more, and I did like that, Ox. Yes, I did. I did like that. I saw him playing around the rim a little bit more. I have to accept the fact that that's just not who he is as a box player. He still has a lot of deficiencies in his game. There's things that he still needs to work on, that he's got to get better at in terms of strength. But I saw a lot of quick hits last night, and I thought that was good. I thought that was really good from him. I mean, what can I say about James that hasn't been said? I just like that Laker offense. I really do. But this kid Castle for San Antonio, he looks like he's going to be a player, Ox. Yes. Oh, yeah. This kid Castle from San Antonio, he looks like he's going to be a player. I love how he gets downhill, how strong he is.
Is it crazy, Chill, that I'm higher on him than Wemby?
Why is that, Ox?
I'm just sick of Victor Wembanyama.
Is it because just people talk about him as much as they do, or
that's probably it? Because when I'm watching him, I'm just like, I just don't see what y'all see.
Yeah,
I think he's amazing. Don't get me wrong, y'all. Don't get me wrong. This is not going to be a Wemby hate session. I refuse to do that. I refuse to do that. The kid he's very skilled.
Mm-hmm.
I just because you said you see him getting to the rim a lot. I'm still not seeing it.
Mm-hmm.
I see where he has the ball at the top and he's going and he sees Cam Reddish in front of him and he just kick it. Like I think I don't think he seeks contact. I don't think he's mean enough. I think he can dominate a little more. I'm still of the mind I was on the panel the other day. Like I know Mars claims that he's triple team going to the rim. That's why he doesn't go. I don't see that. Like I'm not seeing that. I just want him to be a little more aggressive. And it's not like I don't think he's good. I just want him to reach his potential. I think Victor Wembanyama can change the game of basketball. He's out there he wants to be a shooting guard so bad.
That's the problem, though, Ox. The problem is that, like you just said, you want him to change the game. And I think he will. I just don't think it's right now. I think that's the problem. And everybody's expecting him to do it right now. And I mean, you and me had this conversation. Why is it a problem for him to be the best player in the league in year 6 as opposed to in year 2? Right. It's not a problem. Right. I mean, but why can't you do it right now? Because I'm 20 and I don't really know how to play basketball at the pro level like I will when I'm 24, when I'm 25. I'm going to be a lot better. I'm going to see the game different. I've got guys around me that I got an organization around me and I got guys around me that are going to teach me how to play. So when I'm 24, 25 years old, I see the game different. But because of the hype that I came in with, it's all expected right now. Like you got to be this nice right now. There's so many flaws in Victor's game that I watch and I'm thinking to myself, he needs to clean that up. He needs to be he could be a better rebounder. He could be a better rim protector. Just because you averaged, and just so we clear, guys, I want to make sure we clear on this. Just because you average a lot of points does not mean you're a great scorer. You can get a lot of points, but shoot a lot of bad shots to do that. Just because you average a lot of blocks does not mean that you're a great rim protector. That doesn't mean that. You could average less blocks and be a damn good rim protector. You know how to block shots. You know how to protect the rim. You know how not to foul. I don't think he's there yet. Now, don't get me wrong. I do think that he's really good at man in the paint. How much better is he going to be in 3-4 years when he understands how to play defense at the pro level? How much better is he going to be then? I just think that this is another guy who it's going to take some time. That's all it is. It's just going to take some time, but I do think he's going to get there, and I hope he's not made of glass. I do.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And I want to make it clear. I didn't say Victor Wembanyama wasn't a good player.
Right.
I didn't say that I don't think he's going to dominate the league at some point. I didn't say that I think he's a bust. I'm not saying that I think Stephon Castle is going to be better than Victor Wembanyama. I'm saying today I'm more impressed with him than Vic. That's all I'm saying. And I believe that in 2-3 seasons, I'm going to look back on what I'm saying right now, like, "Woo, you got this one all wrong," And I because he's a baby, and I understand that, and so maybe I'm asking for too much from a year 2 guy. You know what I mean? And I'm fine with acknowledging that. I'm it might sound like hate. I'm just saying I think the kid should be better than he is. I think he's afraid of contact. I don't think he's strong at all. These are the things I'm saying. That's it, and that's it. That's all I'm saying.
We got work to do when it comes to.
He's going. Like to your point though, Chill. I think he will one day be the best player in the NBA. I was way against what the fellas were saying the other day. I think he will be a top tier scorer in the NBA one day. I think he has everything in his bag. I just need you to just get maybe a little heavier, maybe gain 15 pounds, get a little stronger, get older. Just get older.
I mean, he did gain 20 pounds over the summer, though. He did do that.
Allegedly.
He put 20 pounds on over the summer. Yeah. So now remember what we're talking about. I mean, and it might not look like it to you, but you go from a rail to, you go from a rail to an apple tree. I mean, that's not saying much, right? Right. That's not saying much, but you are expanding and it's getting better. So
I mean, look at Giannis's body from when he first came to what he looks like now. You know what I mean?
Incredible hope.
Right.
Giannis was under 200 pounds when he showed up.
Right.
He was a rail when he showed up.
So there was the Spurs game. Any other games you want to tap into?
The Minnesota game was great last night. Like I said, I poked my head into that Knicks game last night, which I thought was really good. Just for a little while. That San Antonio game. I saw a little bit of the Clippers game too. I didn't. I'd be lying to you, Ox, if I did say that I paid attention to that Memphis Golden State game. I didn't.
Right.
I did not.
Right.
I was wrapped up in the the Minnesota Sacramento game. The one game that I did peek into last night, and Ox, you know how your patience is waning with Luka. I'm just about sick of Philly. I'm right here. I've just about had it with them dudes. I have this thing.
Are we not? Are we not gonna wait for Joel to get in better shape too?
He played last night.
Yeah.
Both him and Paul George played last night, and sure, Maxey was out of the lineup, but I mean, they got beat up yesterday more than anything. Ox, let's take schemes out of it. Let's take schemes out of it. Let's take action out of it. Orlando roughed them up last night. That's what Orlando did to them. Straight beat them up and said, "Get the hell out of our gym." That's what they did to them dudes yesterday, and that is unacceptable when you got a big man as good as Joel Embiid getting roughed up like he is flopping, getting thrown out of the paint. I've just about had it with. I had Philly a little bit higher than I did, but the way this thing looking right now, it's not looking good in Philadelphia. It's not. It is not. The way that Orlando played, even without Banchero, I mean, they were much more aggressive. Defensively, they were great. And Franz, I don't give Franz enough credit for the downhill guy that he is, Ox. I don't give him nearly enough credit for the downhill guy. Because you know what I'm wrapped up in? I'm wrapped up in the Euro thing. And because I'm wrapped up in the Euro thing, I'm still thinking there's a part of me, there's a fight going on, Ox, because there's a part of me when it comes to the Euro that still thinks it's 1996. It's not, yo. These dudes are a lot tougher than you give them credit for, right? These dudes get to the rim. These dudes do more things. They're not just jump shooters. These dudes are not just weak on defense. These dudes are not guys that get pushed around. These guys are a lot tougher than you give them credit for. And France is one of those guys. He gets downhill with the best of them. I got to give him more credit than I do. And he did that yesterday. He 100% did that yesterday.
Yeah. Definitely.
Yes.
Okay. Let's get back to the to the lobby real quick. We got my man Ezekiel up next. Ezekiel, what's up, fam?
What up?
Hello.
What up?
Y'all can hear me?
Yep.
Hey, so like I wanted to like talk about like the Lakers real quick about AD's MVP chances right now. So so their next 5 games, the Lakers got Pelicans, Jazz, Magic, Nuggets, Suns. In those 5 games, I feel like the Lakers could like at least go 3-2 in the way AD's playing. How do you guys think that like AD's chances are looking for the MVP?
I mean, I think he's going to be in the conversation all season as long as he can stay healthy. And I was wrong about the Lakers. I thought the Lakers were. I mean, I think they're the 5th seed right now in the West, 6th seed in the West, something like that. 5 or 6,
Right.
I think they are in the West. I had them right around the play-in tournament, like around 6, 7, because I thought they were more a playoff team than they were a regular season team. And I think he's going to be in the conversation, but I don't look at Anthony Davis in terms of a player like I do Joker. And
Right.
when you're talking about guys playing better, which is normally what this is, you know, guys playing better in conjunction with them playing better, their team is winning. And if the Celtics are winning more, I think Jason Tatum's going to finish higher than him. I do.
All right. So what about the way JJ Redick's been coaching the Lakers so far?
I think he's been doing a great job. A great job. It's almost like night and day watching him on the sideline than with Darvin Ham. Rotations are better. Defense is crisper. Guys are more on edge. And the reason why guys are more on edge, because if you don't get the job done, you will have your ass parked on the bench. JJ Redick is big about holding these guys accountable, and I love that about him. I think he's doing a great job offensively. I like what he's doing. I do.
Okay. Lastly, I want to talk about the Clippers with Tyronn Lue with benching the starters for in the 4th quarter situation. Things like the 3rd game it's happened. Have you guys been like paying attention to that, or do you guys like know what's up with that?
I have the Clippers now. I have the Clippers out of the playoff race, and the reason why Ty Lue is benching those guys is because of the effort. That's why. It's not matchups. Because if James Harden, if KP, if Kevin Porter Jr., if those guys were given better effort, they would play. This is not about schemes. No. I mean, as much as I like Coffee, I really like what Coffee is doing. But if you're not getting it done in terms of effort, because Ty Lue is putting schemes together. These guys don't get around screens as well as they should. These guys don't defend. And you guys told me before the season started that this is one of the better defensive teams I've been on. You ain't showing it. You damn sure not showing it. And Ty Lue is not benching these guys off the strength of this just being bad of different matchups. No, because if those guys were giving them better effort, they'd be playing. That's the problem right now. I'm out on the Clippers.
Okay, I understand that. But that last game where James Harden could have broke the record, you don't think that he should have at least still let him finish the fourth quarter at least?
We got the whole season to do that. We got the whole season to do that. This ain't a situation where like this is the last game of the year and we got to wait till next year. We got the whole season. We barely 15 games. We barely a month into the season. No, we got the whole season to do that. That's a prelude. What Ty Lue is doing is a prelude of what's to come. You dudes got to give me better effort or you're not gonna play. And I actually like that. I do. I like it.
Okay, that's all I wanted to say
brother.
so
Good
far.
to talk to you.
Thank you so much.
Good to talk to you. I like it.
Yeah,
I do.
Chill. Is there any way that you wouldn't be out on the Clippers right now? You've been out on the Clippers for a while now.
No. The only way I'm in on the Clippers if there's a parade on Figueroa Boulevard. I told you that already, Ox. I told you that 6 months ago. I told you that a year. The only way I'm in on the Clippers is if there's a parade on Figueroa Boulevard. That's it.
Well, it won't be on Fig anymore, right?
No.
Nope. Where they at over there? Somewhere off Sepulveda or something?
No, they're in Inglewood. They're in Inglewood now.
Yeah.
But it still would be.
I don't even know where it's at.
The parade will still be on Figueroa.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Yeah, the parade will still be on Figueroa. So I'm good. I'm good on the Clippers. I'm straight. I'm straight.
Oh man. All right. Let me see. Who do we got next? We got my man Marcus from the 626.
What up?
What up, Marcus?
So y'all, shout out to Ain't the Wolves for spoiling.
I should have never pulled your ass up. I knew this, man. Can't duck no smoke.
Shout out to Ain't the Wolves for spoiling Darren Fox's incredible 60-point night. Bro, we couldn't do nothing with him in the fourth quarter. Like, we had a 20-point lead in the fourth quarter, and then, like, in 3 minutes, we lost it. That was
you couldn't do nothing with him the whole game, not just the fourth quarter. You couldn't do nothing with him the whole game.
Bro, Nikhil and Jaden couldn't hold him worth nothing. Like he was getting whatever he wanted. Like he wasn't even shooting threes. That's the thing to like get that 6. I think he made like 3 threes the whole game or something, 2, 3, 4 threes. Like he was just getting in the paint and like getting to that floater at will every single time. And it was
Ant even took the assignment. Nope.
Yeah.
Ant took the assignment too. Nope. You can't cover me neither. Nope.
Well, Ant no, he can't do nothing here. That's been a fact. Ant been no, he can't do nothing here.
He wasn't driving on it. He did a better job Jaden and Nikhil did because when De'Aaron did try to drive, he forced De'Aaron into a turnover in overtime. So yeah. I in the meat and potatoes of games, I do want Ant on them quicker guards because Jaden
Marcus, stop letting these people tell you that Julius Randle don't pass. Stop letting these people tell you that because that's just not true.
I've been saying he's been passing out the whole time.
I'm tired of hearing that. Yo, he don't pass. He doesn't move the ball. Stop letting people get that off. That's not true.
I'm not letting people get that off.
Stop.
I say it every single time I come up here. I'm glad that Ant can do what he does because Julius Randle can pass out. Now sometimes he does like get caught like, turning his in the blind side, getting the ball poked away from him. But I think that's just gonna happen. He could probably fix it, if he just be conscious of it. But Ant to the Kings and the clutches like Luka is to us. Like in 2 situations this year, he didn't, close the game against y'all twice. In a span of 2 weeks, 3 weeks.
I think y'all gonna see them in the playoffs this year, Ox. I do.
You think you're gonna see us?
I hope so.
I think y'all gonna see them in the playoffs this year.
I do.
I sure hope so, Chill. Because it's funny to me though, Chill. The NBA hates us, and most people hate us too. We beat the Suns, and everybody says, "Oh, no Kevin Durant, it doesn't count. You guys suck. Y'all had to beat them without KD." But we lose by 2 points or a couple points. No Debo, no Malik. But y'all lost to the Wolves. Just, you know how it goes. It's just haters. Just haters. Just haters.
I mean, y'all
They
lost to
hate
us
us
early in the
so
season.
much.
Can we get the All-Star game in Sacramento, please? Can we just do that? That's all I'm asking.
Can the All-Star
We don't
game
even
be
want it,
good?
Chill.
Can the All-Star game be
If-
good? And
If they
competitive?
offer
I don't even
to-
care about it being good. Can we get the All-Star game in Sacramento? Just so you know, the All-Star game has been in Utah twice in the last 30 years. This how many
That's
times the
insane.
All-Star game has been in Sacramento.
That's insane.
I just want to put that out there. The All-Star
That's
game has been in
insane.
Salt Lake City twice in the last 30 years. 0 times since their existence in 1985 when they moved to Sacramento. That's how many times the All-Star game has been in Sacramento. 0.
I
It's
just
been
think
twice.
Sacramento's like favored as a city. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but
Like-
Salt Lake City is all right.
Yeah,
It's
I know,
the capital of
straight up.
California. How do you not bring the All-Star game to the capital of California?
It shouldn't be capital, man. It should be LA,
Give me a
man.
break.
It should be LA.
I'm good.
Chill. Well, what matter of fact, I'll ask you that. I'll let Marcus finish up, and then I'm gonna ask you.
No, go ahead, ask him a question. You good?
Oh, no, don't worry about it, bro, because we
No, we
got to
good.
keep moving. So go
Yeah,
go
we
ahead,
gotta
bro.
keep moving. Good to talk to you,
I'm
Marcus.
good.
All right, brother.
I just
Good
wanted
to talk to you.
antagonize you.
Oh, all right, for sure. All right,
All
Marcus.
right, brother. Good to talk to you.
Primo talking about nobody gonna come, but people gonna go to Cleveland.
Yeah.
People gonna go to Cleveland, but
Yeah,
anybody gonna come to
people at the All-Star game in Charlotte. Yep. People at the All-Star game in Charlotte. They there for that. Yep. No
That's
doubt.
crazy.
They at the All-Star game in Charlotte. No doubt about that. Mm-hmm. They came to the All-Star game in Minnesota. Yep.
in February.
Mm-hmm. They came to the All-Star game in Minnesota. Yep.
Let
They
me
ain't coming in
see.
Sacramento.
Let's see what Goat James got to say for us. Goat James.
Peace,
Keenan,
God. Peace, God.
Peace, Ox. Peace, Chill. What's good, brothers?
Peace, God.
Nothing much, man. What a bunch of games last night, right? NBA fans was watching basketball, not watching the old man get beat up, right, Ox?
I
That's
did,
crazy.
Right?
I did tune into it for a couple of minutes, and I was like, "What am I doing watching this? This is dumb. This is dumb."
Exactly. You should know better, man. Listen,
Yeah.
I was calling up because you know my boy Bam stepped up last night. Finally,
did.
we got the game from Bam that we needed in Miami.
Yep.
We looked real good last night. Hero's been balling.
Yep.
So my question is to you, Chill Time, because I saw you was on playback with Lowe the other day or last night.
Sure.
Do you believe the Eastern Conference and Western Conference should be eradicated due to the scheduling and the wins and loss records?
Well, my man over here, my co-host over here has made it clear to me, and he's starting to sway me a little bit that we need to go to a 16-team format. He's starting to sway me a little bit. I'm the more traditional guy because I always felt like the Western Conference Championship means something and the Eastern Conference Championship means something, and I'm not really a big fan of getting rid of it. But to my man over here, to his point, you know, he makes a compelling argument that do you not want the best teams to compete for the NBA championship? Now, the fact that the best teams may be in the Western Conference or the best teams may be in the Eastern Conference, that goes without saying. I don't think that should be the issue, the fact of where they are. We want the best teams competing for the NBA championship. And if that means the two best teams in the NBA are in the West, then that's what the NBA finals should be. So I'm a little bit more of a traditionalist. And I still care about because I remember what the Eastern Conference Championship looked like. I remember how good it was in 2013 when Indiana went up against the Heat. I remember how good it was in 2019 when Milwaukee played against Toronto. So, and I'm an Eastern Conference guy. I'm from the East, so I'm an Eastern Conference guy. I'm a little bit more biased when it comes to the Eastern Conference. I'm an Eastern Conference guy. However, my man here, I'm at least listening to him. Before I wouldn't even listen to it, but I'm at least listening to him now.
Well, I mean, you entertain Zesty Jeffrey, so we know you're gonna listen to anybody. That's just
That's because they necessary. Go. That's why, Jay. We need them.
But not to say what Ox is saying is a Zesty Jeffrey comment. No disrespect to you, Ox, but I do think that it's still a little too far to say we need to get rid of conferences. Because again, if you look at who wins championships, the Eastern Conference do win championships. They've won several championships in the last 10 to 12 years, even further. So you know the best team is not necessarily in the West, and I'm not the one that likes to say your team record makes you the better team. Just because you won 53 games and I won 48 doesn't mean you're better than me.
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
Facts.
So,
But real quick, I want to say I'm not necessarily saying get rid of conferences. I mean, you can still. I think you represent your conference. In fact, yeah, in fact, I think it would actually make it more of a rivalry between conferences. Like, yo, we had 10 teams in the playoffs last year. Y'all had 6. You know what I mean? So we better than y'all. You know what I mean? I think we could even look at it like that too. Like, which conference represents more in the playoffs? I think we could look at it that way. We let every team plays every team 3 times. No 4, no 2. Everybody plays everybody 3 times. And you know what I'm saying? Boom.
Well, how about this? How about we readjust some teams, right? How about teams like Memphis or Minnesota becoming an Eastern Conference team?
I think that's what's going to happen when we get the when we get the expansion. I think when they're talking about Las Vegas showing up and when Seattle gets their damn team back, then I think we're going to have some realignment where I think Memphis is going to the East. I think Minnesota could go to the East too. It's either Minnesota or New Orleans. One of those 2 teams could go to the East.
Yeah, like New Orleans or even Houston, right? Houston's on the East Coast of Texas, right? Or the eastern border of Texas, right?
I'm cool with leaving Houston in the Western Conference. I'm good with that. Because I think New Orleans is further. Yeah, I'm good with Houston staying in the West, but New Orleans is further east and Memphis is further east. So I think that those 2 teams, at minimum, we can move some teams to the East.
All right. Well, listen, gentlemen, we got great basketball. I love the in-season tournament. I love what you guys are doing. Keep doing great work. Ox, you doing your thing. Chill. You know, I'm always going to holler at you. And let's go Heat. Biscayne in June, y'all.
Peace, all right, brother. Good to talk to you. Biscayne in June. We know what that is, yo. Biscayne in June.
What do we got next? Let's see how many. I think we can squeeze 2 more. Maybe go quick, maybe 3. Let's see what we can get in here. Let's let my man Big Fan Breezy represent for his Brooklyn Nets.
Brooklyn. Yo, shout out to Chill, shout out to Big Ash. I know this is my favorite show. Just to revisit what Goat James King or whatever dude name is. I said this to Chill last season, but and to Ox's idea, but introduce it to the fans in the in-season tournament. Group it up where the East and West teams is in a mashup. So the in-season tournament have the best East teams, best West teams in a group. Let them compete like that, and then you know what I'm saying. Maybe expand it to conferences or whatnot or whatever Ox was talking about.
So stop splitting up the East and the West. Put the Lakers in the same division with Minnesota. Put the Lakers in the same division with Milwaukee. Put the Suns in the same division with Miami. Yeah, I can get with that. Yeah, I can definitely get with that. Then you got a round robin, and that way we can definitely find out who the better teams are. We could do that.
All right, so I know I'm on a heater 1 minute drill, and also with Cam Thomas per free throw per field goal, he might be one of the best bucket getters in the league. He gets a lot of his buckets from the field. These so-called superstars that may be quoted better than him, they get a lot of their points from the free throw line. So I just wanted to make note of that. And also to Ox's point, a lot of times it's not that he's trying to take tough shots. It's that some of the times the teammates are not setting the screens for him. Or when they do, they are blitzing the screens. And so I would say a Jordy Fernandez will have to make more X's and O's to, when they blitz the screen, count to that. I mean, yeah, count to them when they blitz in Cam Thomas. And to leave off, I'll say I want to see Jordy Fernandez be the head coach for Cam Thomas' whole career. You was right about Jordy Fernandez, man. He's a great coach, and I don't like to see a lot of. Well, I've seen great players always kind of want one coach. You know what I'm saying? LeBron might be the exception, but when you think of Kobe, when you think of Jordan, they kind of like to just be with one coach. So I want the same thing for Cam Thomas. And I'm in the chat. Y'all know I love the show. You know what I'm saying? I'm in the chat, just enjoying the show.
Yes, sir. We know where to find you, Breeze. Hi, brother. Yes, sir.
Yo, Classic, what's up, fam?
What up?
Yo, what up, guys?
What's up?
Hey, yeah, I just wanted to talk about the Luka thing real quick, and I think that a lot of people was overreacting to that because Luka has always had bad defense. But chill, I'm a Tatum guy. I'm a Tatum guy, and I've seen Tatum do the same shit that Luka did yesterday.
And
Was
it
it? Whoa,
pisses me off.
whoa, Classic. Don't do this, man. No, we not.
I'm not trying to, but chill. Like, and I
No.
know Ron said it yesterday, and Ox, you got mad, but they was in the finals last year. Luka always starts the season off slow, and I'm gonna be honest, I was disappointed.
That was me. I supported that. I was one who said that we shouldn't panic. I'm the one who said I think the Mavericks will be fine.
Right, and so, and I honestly, and I mean, this might sound crazy, but I was more disappointed in the coaching and Darren Lively, because why would you have Luka in that position to defend the paint in a game-winning situation? You know what type of player he is, and I feel like Jason Kidd be trying to prove a point too much with Luka, trying to make him tougher or something. Like, you know who Luka is, and if he keeps doing that, eventually the organization is gonna always choose Luka before they choose Jay Kidd. So stop trying to turn him into this tough guy, this mentally tough guy. You just got to let him do him. And then also Derek Lively, he was looking in the paint. I feel like some of the good defenders like Anthony Davis, they would have got a block on that play, even though he got past Luka.
He was in the proper position. The ball was in the middle of the floor. His man was here. John Collins was there. Luka wasn't in position. If the ball would have been in Colin Sexton's hands, then yeah, Derek Lively should have been over in help side. If Derek Lively would have been in position to help him on John Collins, then he would have been out of position to guard his man.
He wasn't the furthest away from the ball. That's the point that he's making. That's where he was. And the fact that you're trying to let Luka off the hook where Derek Lively should have blocked that shot. He shouldn't have been wide open. That's the problem. He should not. It shouldn't have been close.
He threw a laser behind his back.
He shouldn't have been that wide open. No, he shouldn't have been that wide open. And the fact that he shouldn't have been guarding the paint, he wasn't guarding the paint. He wasn't guarding anybody. That's the problem. That's the problem. And this is the same thing that we've been complaining about from Luka for years. This isn't something we don't complain about Jason Tatum as a defender. In fact, Jason Tatum has gotten better as a defender. He's improved over the years as a defender, but we've never questioned who Jason Tatum was.
But the other night, Jason Tatum had a play similar to that when the guy got behind him on the game.
So answer this question for me. Have we ever complained about Jason Tatum's effort on defense?
I mean, I know you haven't, but I've watched every Jason Tatum game, and sometimes when he's not making his threes, he acts like Luka. He gets disengaged and he starts pouting, and then he starts just doing the shit that Luka did last night.
No, he does not. That's not true, Classic.
Oh,
no way you're selling me that. He might get it. He might get a little. One thing that I've never seen from Jason Tatum on defense, I've seen him blow assignments. I've seen him miss guys. One thing that I've never seen from him is lack of effort. Never. That's not true. Not nearly as much as Luka. Not true. No.
Except when he was a pup and Jimmy used to shake him up, chill. He used to get a little timid there. That's a little
different. And then just one more thing real quick in regards to Wembanyama. At first, I was kind of out on him at first, but then I saw something that other game. He had got an offensive rebound, but he was at the 3-point line. And I was like, well, if he wants to shoot that many threes, but he could use his length to crash the glass from the 3-point line, then I think he can expand his game that way and kind of change the game a little bit, because his defense is going to always be amazing. So if he wants to be an outside player, but he can also crash the glass from the 3-point line, I think he can be a real great player and kind of like change the game a little bit.
Right. All right, Classic. Appreciate you. Y'all see Claire's in the chat. She's also in my text message telling us to get it on. I know we had a few people still left in the lobby. Sorry I couldn't get to all y'all. Hey, come back next Saturday. We'll make it happen. Yes, appreciate everybody that stopped by for sure. Chill Town.
Absolutely, guys. It was good to see you guys, but put on a suit, drink water, don't drink and drive. Hey, man, call your mother. When last time you talked to your mother? Call your mother. And if you ever in the Portland area and you had too much to drink, my man right here, get the phone. Here comes Scoop you. He won't leave you out there. We will see you guys soon. But until then, take it light, but take it. Absolutely, man. It was good to see you guys. No doubt.
All right, y'all.
Great to see you guys today. This was good stuff. It is basketball season. No doubt about that, big guy.
That was great.